Seeing that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have historically high unfavorability ratings, third-party candidates are actually polling at unprecedented levels. So according to a hypothetical matchup by the Morning Consult that pits Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, and Gary Johnson against each other, for those of you who don't know, Gary Johnson is the Libertarian Party nominee. Hillary Clinton polls at 38%, Donald Trump polls at 35%, Gary Johnson polls at 10%, and 17% of voters are undecided. Now, when you go to a Fox News poll, Donald Trump polls ahead at 42%, Hillary Clinton polls at 39%, that's just embarrassing, and Johnson polls at 10%. So that is two polls where a third-party candidate is polling in double digits. That tells you a lot about the current political situation. Now, those two polls exclude Jill Stein, but when you actually include her in the polls, she does cut into Gary Johnson's numbers, presumably. So, according to a poll conducted by Monmouth University, Hillary Clinton polls at 37%, Donald Trump polls at 31%, Gary Johnson polls at 5%, and Jill Stein polls at 4%. Now, they did not test whether or not the third-party candidates would do as well if Bernie Sanders was included in this hypothetical matchup, but I can guarantee they probably wouldn't be doing as well if they did include Bernie Sanders, because he has mass appeal, he has crossover appeal, he can get independent, so I don't think that they would be polling as high. Now, when you contrast Gary Johnson's numbers from 2016 with that of 2012, he was only polling at 1%. Now, the only other third-party candidate to actually be more successful than Gary Johnson at this point was Ross Perot. Now, Ross Perot was the only third-party candidate to actually poll better than Gary Johnson, and in 1992, Ross Perot polled at 19%, and in 1996, he polled at 8%. Now, additionally, Gary Johnson now even beats Ralph Nader, who in 2008 polled at 6% against McCain and Clinton and polled at 5% against McCain and Obama. Now, imagine this hypothetical scenario. Imagine if Bernie Sanders actually did accept Jill Stein's offer and joined her ticket. I can guarantee you at that point that the Bernie Sanders Jill Stein ticket would be polling even higher than Ross Perot. Guarantee it. But unfortunately, there are two reasons why this would never come to fruition. First of all is that Bernie Sanders wouldn't do it because he'd feel as though he's betraying the Democratic Party, even though they've done nothing but backstab him, or actually front stab him, and laugh in his face. Now, second of all, even if they were able to somehow capture a plurality of electoral votes, well, if no one ticket actually reaches 270 electoral votes, then the House of Representatives will get to decide, and they would most likely undermine the will of the people. They certainly wouldn't vote to elect Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein currently. So there's several reasons why this is unlikely, but it still needs to happen. Now, the question is, why are they polling so high? Well, it's obvious. People don't like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. When it comes to voting for the lesser of two evils, they're so similar that you're not really voting for someone who you feel is the lesser of two evils, maybe by a marginal percentage. But even if you vote against Donald Trump and get Hillary Clinton, you still have Hillary Clinton. So even though she's slightly better than Donald Trump, you still get Hillary Clinton if Donald Trump is defeated. And that's not a good thing. It's still bad for the country. How many wars will she start? How many economic policies will she concede to when it comes to negotiations between the Republicans? We know that Bill Clinton loved to negotiate with Republicans. He signed Republican welfare into law. So we can only presume that Hillary Clinton, who's also a third-way Democrat like her husband Bill Clinton, will do the same thing. So that's why people are turning to third-party candidates. They're fed up. I'm tired of voting for a lesser of two evils, and many people are. So if this election really does turn out to be a matchup between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, I would expect that these numbers would grow even higher.